Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be starting a new series where I'm going to share my top 5 and bottom 5 of some of my favorite brands. Now, Charlotte Tilbury is a brand that I have loved for so long. I try every single one of her releases. I have tried pretty much everything from the brand, give or take a couple of products, but I decided that today I would share my top 5 and my bottom 5. It was pretty easy to choose my bottom 5, but to choose my top 5 was really difficult because she does have a ton of products that I just really love. Let's start with the bottom 5 and get those out of the way. The absolute worst product that Charlotte Tilbury has ever come out with, in my opinion, is the Matte Eyes to Mesmerize. I really just saved these for shame at this point because these are just really not that great. I think she came out with these at the beginning of 2022 or 2023, and I really love her regular shimmer Eyes to Mesmerize formula. I think it's fantastic. But these, even when they were brand new, they look like they're going to be super creamy, but they're not. They're just this really stiff kind of clay product. Even when I first got them, I thought, well, maybe they're just cold and they need to warm up. No, because even when they were sitting in my well-heated house for quite a while, they still stayed like this, and they were just so difficult to work with. You had to work really quickly if you wanted to get these spread out on the lid. You could eventually make it work, but you had to work really fast, like I mentioned, and there was absolutely no building these because it would just make everything look like a muddy mess. So these were really just one and done. Spread it on if you could, and hopefully you got a good blend because otherwise you were stuck with these. And then taking them off was really difficult. So these were supposed to be something that was going to be incredibly long wearing, but they were just absolutely impossible to work with. And I was really shocked that these were as terrible as they were because this is Charlotte Tilbury we're talking about. The next two products, I'm not really shocked that I don't like them because I have never gotten along with Charlotte Tilbury foundations. And the absolute worst one, according to me, is the Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint Hydrating Foundation Stick. This is essentially her Hollywood Flawless Filter in stick form. This is very glowy. It does say that it's going to be a sheer skin tint. And I was okay with this when I thought it was just going to be more of a skin tint stick that I thought maybe I could just throw on quickly to look a little bit more pulled together. Definitely not a full glam type of product, but something that would definitely help me look a little bit more pulled together, especially in stick form. It would be super quick and easy to apply. I thought that's what this was, but it is really just the Hollywood Flawless Filter in stick form. I have shade 1 in this, and I do not like this. This is so intensely glowy that I just look incredibly sweaty the entire time. I can put this on, but then I have to powder it down. This works best for me if I put this on and then I go over it with a powder foundation. So, I mean, it's just kind of two steps that I don't really need. So I really just don't reach for this very much, but that is the only way that I can use this so that I like it. I like the packaging significantly more than I thought I would when I first saw the release photos, but the product itself is just not for me. And an earlier foundation of hers that I could not get along with is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Now, I know there's a lot of people that actually really did like this, and I'm guessing those people are those with more oily skin types because I can see this being fantastic for oily skin because this is definitely very full coverage. This is very matte, and for my dry skin, this was an absolute no from the jump. This was just so incredibly dry right when I was blending it onto my skin, and there was absolutely nothing in the world I could do to make this work for me. I tried, I wanted to love it so much, but I just could not make this work with my very dry skin type, and the bottle is so beautiful. The packaging, everything about this is so beautiful, and all of the people with oily skin types who really love this, I'm so happy for you, but I'm also really jealous because I wanted to love this. And this is also one of those earlier matte foundations that is also a bit heavy on the skin, so for me, this is just everything I don't want in a foundation, and I just could not make this work no matter what. Nowadays, we're getting these matte foundations that are also full coverage matte, but also very lightweight and somehow work with dry skin. This is not that. The next product is one of her mascaras. So I find Charlotte Tilbury mascaras to be very hit or miss. Her newest mascara, I actually really like. You're not going to see it in my top 5, but I have actually come to really like that one. It's not without its faults, but it's a very good mascara. Her Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes mascara, that's a good one. That's a good one for length. The Legendary Lashes mascara is a good one for volume, but here I have the full fat lashes, and this was one that came in a mystery box. That's how I have this. And this is what the wand looks like. It's a very generic wand. There's absolutely nothing special about it. I like that it is a fiber bristle wand, but there's absolutely nothing special about it, and it does absolutely nothing special for my lashes. It doesn't make them look thick. It doesn't make them look long. It just gives a very basic, oh, she's got mascara on effect to my lashes. And I really love a good long lash, but I love a little bit of volume at the root as well. I find her new Exaggerize mascara does do a really great job with volume. It's not necessarily perfect for length, but it does do a good enough job as well. This just really didn't do anything either way, and it was also very clumpy, and this one just really didn't work that well for me. And the last product in my least favorites is one that I don't hate by any means, but it just really doesn't do anything. And this is the Brow Fix Clear Brow Gel. Now, my brow hairs are very fine, and they do tend to flop down at the first opportunity. And this one, first of all, has a really large wand on it for a brow product. Like, that is really large. And given that the brows are a smaller area of the face, I do expect a slightly smaller wand with this. I just do. I think this is fine. This is a very liquidy formula, and I've used a lot of this, but I just do not find that this holds my brows whatsoever. I find that there are some brow gels that can just really lock everything in. There are some that give a very flexible hold, and I would say that's this. There are some that laminate your brows, like the NYX Brow Glue. That's going to laminate your brows. The Rare Beauty Brow Gel is that perfect medium that sort of gives me that perfect locked in shaped brow, but it's also not going to give my brows that sort of dandruffy effect from the product sort of balling up. So the Rare Beauty is my absolute favorite. This one is fine. It really doesn't do anything. And for the Charlotte Tilbury price point, I kind of want a little bit more. Those are the only products from Charlotte that I really don't like that much. I have some that I love more than others, but getting into my absolute top 5, I will die on this hill products. First up, I have to swear by her lipsticks. I have a large collection of Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, and I pulled some of my favorites here. So the shade Pillow Talk Fair. This is one that came out last year, and this is just one of my absolute favorite lipsticks. We all know Pillow Talk has been used to death, and it's a really beautiful peachy pink. It's supposed to suit everyone. She also has Pillow Talk Medium, Pillow Talk Intense, and then last year she came out with Pillow Talk Fair, which for me is the most perfect baby pink. It's actually very similar to what I have on right now, but it's not what I'm wearing right now. I love this so much. It's just such a beautiful light pink lip. It's perfect for every single day. I also pulled Wedding Bells. This is in the Matte Revolution formula. I should mention Pillow Talk Fair is in the Kissing formula, so it's a creamier formula. Wedding Bells is a perfect pinky nude. This is similar to Pillow Talk, but it has a little bit more pink in it. And the Matte Revolution line is going to wear all day long. They are so incredibly long wearing. And then I also pulled the shade Rocket Girl, which is also quite similar to Pillow Talk and Wedding Bells, but again, we have another very beautiful pinky nude. This was from the Elton John collection. I don't think you can get this anymore, but I have so many of her lipsticks. Whenever I place an order, I will often throw on a shade that I don't already have. When she releases new collections, I will throw those in too. I know last year she came out with the Hollywood Icon line, which I really liked, except for one shade. And that's even tough because I like the shade a lot. It's just got glitter particles in it. But her lipsticks are what are special to me. And it doesn't matter if it's the Kissing formula, which is very creamy, or the Matte Revolution, which is definitely matte, but also very comfortable and long wearing. Her lipsticks are just such a favorite. And I think what really drills it down, first of all, her packaging is just phenomenal. The feel of them on the lips is wonderful. And the tones. It's the tones that she gets with these lipsticks, which is part of what still makes MAC lipsticks really special for me. But the tones that she gets with these are what I love so much. So I do love her lipsticks, and I think they still remain to this day an absolute standout in her line. That's one of the first products that I think about when I think about Charlotte Tilbury, and I just love them. Next is a product that I mention all of the time, is my #1 favorite setting spray. This is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. So I do have a large bottle. I have repurchased this so many times. For the longest time, I was just purchasing and repurchasing the smaller bottles if I would see them in sort of like a duo pack for the holidays. I was just always purchasing those. And then finally, I decided to stop messing around and just buy the large bottle because you know what, I'm going to use it. I love this setting spray so much. This does have a really fine mist. This is such an excellent mister. Some setting sprays are like a water gun to the face. Some of them jam up really quick. This one is just always perfect. I've never had one of the pumps on these malfunction, so I love this. And what I love about this setting spray, like most setting sprays, this does a really nice job of just sort of melting all of your powder products together and making everything look really seamless. But this one actually does make your makeup last a long time. And I always describe this as the perfect hybrid between the Urban Decay All Nighter and the MAC Fix Plus. This is the best for that. You get the wear time of the Urban Decay, but you get the hydration of the MAC Fix Plus. I feel like the Urban Decay is so good, but it can be a little bit drying because it does contain alcohol, and that's what makes it last so long. But the MAC Fix Plus, while I feel like it melts everything together and it gives your skin a beautiful dose of hydration after you've just put on all that makeup, I don't really find it does anything to extend the wear of my makeup. This does both, and this is just such a fantastic setting spray. Like I said, I have tried others and absolutely nothing touches how much I love this one. This is the only one where I actually see results. I feel like setting spray is easily one of those products that a lot of people skip because they don't notice the difference between when they use it and when they don't. And I feel like this is one of the ones where you really do notice that difference. The next product is one that I like so much. I actually have 3 shades, and I hear absolutely nobody ever talk about these. This is the Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighters. So 2 of these I did receive in a mystery box, but the shades actually do work well for me. But the perfect shade is Moonlit Glow, and this is the one I reviewed when these first came out. So this is the shade Moonlit Glow, and this one actually has a pretty solid dent out of the middle. What I love about these highlighters is that they can be built up to give you a pretty strong glow, but they can also just give you a beautiful soft glow to the high points of your face if that's what you want. It doesn't have to be built up to be too intense. What I especially love about these is that they are not glittery, so they are so smooth and they're flattering on all different skin types, because highlighters, especially the glittery ones and especially the ones that are overly blinding, can be just really texture enhancing. And if that is a concern for you, these are so great because they're so smooth. I just feel like this just gives that beautiful pop of glow to certain points of my face and is just so smoothing. I think it's such a beautiful formula. The only thing I don't like about these is actually a packaging flaw, because I feel like when you put this in here, the pan actually sort of rotates within the packaging, which is very strange, and I do feel like it cheapens the product a little bit. This shade in particular is beautiful. This is perfect for my skin type. Aside from the packaging flaw, I love this so much. I also have the shade Champagne Glow, which I think is one step deeper. This one's verging on a little bit too deep for me, but it is also very pretty. And the shade Pillow Talk Glow is actually beautiful. This actually works really well for me also. This is a more pinky tone, and this one can be used as a blush topper, but I actually can get away with this as a highlight. I don't know how that works, because typically a shade like this would definitely be too deep for my skin, but this actually works very well. And again, these are all just so smoothing, non-glittery, just really beautiful highlighters. And it kind of surprises me that I don't hear anybody talk about them, but at the same time, I feel like highlighter hasn't been the trendiest product the last few years, so maybe that's why, but they're easily some of my favorites that she has. Next, I have to mention the Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer. I have the shade One Fair. I love this. This is easily my absolute favorite cream bronzer formula. So first of all, this is massive, And you can see right in the middle, I actually do have pan. Right in the middle, it's a baby pan, but it still counts. This borders on a more cool toned shade, but it can be used as a bronzer. It's just very, very neutral. If anything, it's not going to be orange. If you are fair like me, this is not going to turn you orange. This is just so easy to work with. It's got kind of a moussey consistency. It's very easy to blend out. It looks so beautiful and flattering on the skin. It's never too intense. And if you do get too much, it's so easy to blend and kind of tap it down. It's just such a fantastic formula. It's such a fantastic consistency. I love a good moussey consistency in a product like this because it just makes it so simple. So I absolutely love this. And the last product I had to mention is kind of a cheat, but this is one of her full face products. This is her Instant Look of Love in a palette in Pretty Blushed Beauty. Over the years, Charlotte Tilbury has released many different variations of these full face palettes. So you get 3 eyeshadows, you get a powder, a blush, a highlight, and a bronzer in here. So the bronzer and highlight in here are the same as what is in her Film Star Bronze and Glow. Then you get a blush, you do get the setting powder. I think this palette and the deeper variation that came out with it were the first ones to also feature the powder. And then of course you do get 3 eyeshadows. She has released different variations of these types of face palettes over the years, but this was such a favorite of mine. I have used this so much, and I really desperately wish she would commit with more of these because this is literally the perfect all-in-one face palette. The bronzer is the perfect shade. This is in the shade 1 Fair. It works perfectly for me. I don't think you can tell on camera, but the highlighter has such a huge dip in it. I thought for sure I was going to hit pan. I still might. This blush is a little bit more shimmery, but it's a really beautiful peachy blush. Then we get a matte eyeshadow, we get a more shimmer shadow, and then a topper. And I always loved the look of my makeup and how everything came together whenever I used this. This was just so quick and easy because it had everything I wanted right here. And this is just so easy to work with. It's so flattering on the skin. It's just such a beautiful combination of shades. I wish you would come out with more of these because I think they're such beautiful palettes. They're so high quality. Yes, they're expensive, but these are in her high quality packaging. They're just absolutely lovely. So I really would love to see more of those. I know she does have some new eyeshadow palettes coming out very soon. I will definitely be reviewing those, but I know the big controversy, if you will, with those is the packaging. So we will talk about that, but the packaging on these was always so beautiful. But that is it for me today. Let me know down below all of your thoughts. What are your favorites from Charlotte? What are your least favorites? Do you agree with any of my choices? Let me know your thoughts down below. I love hearing from you guys so much. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!